you believe it? It's September 1st. This is when it officially feels like summer has faded away. Maybe for some of you living in the warm weather, it never fades away. Here in New England, the weather is absolutely beautiful. In the 70s yesterday, and this is fun as we head towards September. Red Sox are a playoff team right now. We've got the NFL starting up, and we've got college football underway. So this is a great time of year. Welcome to the show, Red Sox Now on a Monday. Missed you this weekend. I'm Mike Antonellis, one of many. There's like 10 of us broadcasters for the Woo Sox. We have 3 series left, 2 at home. I'll be there a lot this week. And if there's any players you want me to talk about, we certainly could do that. Christopher Smith and Alex Spear have reported that Christian Campbell will not get called up when the rosters expand. It makes sense. They're really trying to fill in the gaps. That's what the manager there, Chad Tracy's talked about, filling in the gaps with his development. And it's important, right? This is a guy you invested in. So you all of you are going to look at it different ways. You got to trust them on this. I understand we're thinking about him being able to help and all that. And we'll get to the guts of the show, but I wanted to throw this out there. He's not in a good spot defensively yet. They still have him playing a lot of positions. He's not where they want him to be. This is important. 18 games is 18 games. And you could so they want him to be a guy down the road, and they want to develop that. So I get that, and we'll see what happens. Important offseason for him, but we'll get to that. It's hard for me to focus on the offseason. I've got to focus on right now. Red Sox had a Sunday fun day. They were able to salvage the final game of that series with the Pirates 5-2. Before we go any further, if you could subscribe to the channel, we're going to hit, I think, 1,700 today. So 2,000 would be great by the end of the week, 3,000 by the end of the season. That's my goal. And thanks to all of you. We'll get to your comments as well. Flashback, you're probably wondering what that is. But let's flash back to yesterday. Absolutely incredible. I missed some of the game yesterday, but I had it on. Yeah, I spent the afternoon with my mom and dad. That's more important. And what a game for Duran. This is what you need. We've talked about this. It's an extreme team. We've seen it at times, extreme. Bregman's in a little bit of a dip. It happens. But, you need guys to step up. And yesterday, Duran did. 2 hits, a double, an inside the park 3-run homer, and 2 walks. Right when that ball, it was perfectly hit, by the way. The TV doesn't do it justice, by the way, because I went back and looked at the exit velocity. When you watch it on TV, it almost looks like the outfielder made like a half-hearted effort at it. It was hit 103, splitting those 2. Once it gets by the backhand of Canario there, no chance. And I'm telling you, I've seen Duran. I was with them in the minor leagues in 2019. There is nothing better than watching a speed demon run the bases. That was pure entertainment. But he stepped it up. You needed that. 2 hits for Lowe. RBI for Roman Anthony, who was 0 for 3. You know what's crazy about Roman Anthony? He's in his first year. He's probably going to get to 100 strikeouts. Isn't that crazy? And still hit about 290. Man, that's where the game has changed. But he's, let's give him his due. He's still young. Romy, by the way, 1 for 4. He had an unbelievable Friday against Paul Skeens. He's up to 293. And he's been pretty consistent. If you look at his month by month, he doesn't have a lot of extremes. I know I hear people talk about it, but it's not. I mean, he's 289 this month, 278 July, 300 in June. He was 5 for 12 in May. He was 9 for 36 in April. But since June 1st, and he's really damn consistent. He's 76 games, 293, 8 homers, 42 RBIs. If he got to 10 homers and 50 RBIs as a part-time player and hit around 290, that's another guy you found off the street. So, underrated. Just plays, hits, plays different positions. Good teammate. Guys love him. I mean, and what can you say about Lucas Giolito? 10-2. This is unbelievable. It really is. I talked about this last week. I get the frustration of signing a guy that missed the whole season, but you see why it's worth it, because pitching and how hard it is to find starters, and you're going through that right now. A lot of it's injuries that you know the Red Sox have had injuries to, Dobbins, Fitz, Criswell, Houck, Crawford. And they've still been able to, if you think about it, that's a lot of starters to be hurt. And I get the Dustin May, I get all that. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. But you're still above water. And now Tolle in the big league. So, not many teams can survive that many injuries, and you have. And May's not going to be in the postseason. He's not going to start in the postseason. So I get it for this year, the regular season, but I'm not focused on, him in postseason. But let's go back to Mr. Giolito. Last 15 starts, he's 9-1 with a 2.26 ERA. We don't focus a lot on these things. Red Sox fans, I see this on social media. You always go to the Lou Merlot talked about this. You go to the 12th or 13th guy, like now everyone's on Yoshida. I get it. You're on Wong, you're on Hamilton, you're on Story, you're on Camp. Like we're just always dwelling to like a couple of guys. Why not more positivity and hype about this? This is a guy you signed and missed the whole year and is 9-1 in his last 15 starts with a 2.26 ERA. I mean, that's pretty damn good. I get you want improvement. I get it. But there's a lot of focus, on Dustin May and all. He's a fifth starter. Yeah, he hasn't been good. 3 of the 5 have not been good. What do you expect? That's... Dodgers didn't want him. You need innings, that's. But you should be thankful that you got 3 guys in your rotation, and now Tolle. And if you go back to last year to now, you have improved immensely, and it's probably it's not completely done yet. But this is, another, I look at a lot of the moves they've made. This is why moves in a organization with a new leader takes time. Like you can see they're more pitching heavy. Patrick Sandoval's another guy. They have to eat this inning. I know Hendricks, that hasn't worked out. But this has been worth it all. And another unbelievable outing for him. I'm not panicking about Justin Slayton. I saw all the tweets yesterday about it. I'm not. It's 2 outings. I'm not panicking about Yoshida. No spring training. I know it's over 100 at-bats. I don't care. No spring training, a short rehab here. You're playing in the big leagues. You've seen it. Story, it took him forever. It takes guys a while. I'm not, and the Red Sox wanted him back quicker. And yeah, it doesn't look great, but I'm not ready to shut the door on a guy that has a pretty good track record. Same with Slayton. He gave up a home run yesterday. Still at 2 strikeouts. 15 to 23 pitches for strikes. And then I'm reading all this that, he's not the same guy. I don't know where you're getting that from, where people are getting that from. It's 2 outings. You just think you're going to miss 3 months, go rehab twice, and then you're going to be out there and everything's roses? I mean, he's fine. He'll be fine. He's good. I'm not worried at all. And that's the combination that's going to be really good in the playoffs. Slayton, Whitlock, and Chapman. That is really, really damn good. And congrats to them signing Chapman. 14 consecutive hitless outings. 1 earned run in the last 3 months. A chance to have an ERA of under 1. It's the way they've managed him. I talked about this Friday. The medical staff, I'll let you in on a little thing. I'm sure they fight with coaches. They don't have an agenda to win like the manager and the coaches. They are about the player. That's their job. I had a few people ask me about this over the weekend. They said, someone asked me, like, will the trainers have the best interest of the club? Yes. Yes. You can lose. Think about this. You get certified. You take an oath. And I've been around these guys, the training staff. I know all of them. I've seen them have hard conversations with coaches and say, no, this is the plan. They've done that with Bregman. They're doing that with Chapman. And I know there are days Cora would want to use them, and no, they don't care because they can't compensate and do something that's wrong and the player gets hurt. Think about this. If a big league player gets hurt under their watch when it could have been prevented, they'll be out. So they have to make those tough decisions. That's why I really admire those guys. And they have managed Chapman in a way that is really, really good. And it's been documented and talked about. So I admire that because all I care about is him being healthy in postseason. And you know what? I'll be honest with you, and I know this is going to bother people. I'm okay with shortening Crochet and all the guys down the stretch here. I get we all, and Lou talked about this, Merloni, and I agree with him on this. I know we want the division, and I get all of that, but you can't compensate and go for it. You're definitely going for it. Calling up Tolle's going for it, but you have to be smart. You can't be reckless and use guys to the point where you're wearing them out just to win the division and then you burn out in the first. You can't do that. You have to be healthy. You still have to manage Giolito. He's older. He's been hurt. Crochet's an unknown. Tolle. There's a lot of guys. Chapman. You have to manage them. Even Bregman. So, and all the teams are doing this. So I get, I get the balance and I get where fans get mad, but you have to be smart. And I know it bothers people when they don't use guys, but you have to look at the end of, the prize at the end. This weekend, Friday was not disappointed. I wasn't, Skeens is unbelievable. You're lucky to get 2 runs. 1 was unearned. We'll get to Tolle. It was just incredible. But I want to get to August. This was great, last year. And yet we do, offensively need to be a little bit better. We know that. But I still am okay with being built this way. You had the best ERA in the majors in August. So with everything that, I know there were some games that they should have won. There are games that you should have lost too that you won. We never seem to focus on those. You had a 3.37 ERA in August. Number 1. You had the best record in the AL in August. 17-11. Detroit was right behind you at 16-12. They haven't played their best baseball, but they're 80-58. And they're managing guys too. So you're doing a lot of positive things. And think about this. I know that people want the offense to be. If the offense was where a lot of you wanted it, they would probably be, they'd have 90 wins right now. That would be a lot to change in one season. I think you've made enough changes through last year to the offseason to this year to put yourself in a way better position. Last August, your ERA was 26th in Major League Baseball. 26th. And you were 13-15. So you had a 4.95 ERA. This year it's a run, almost a run and a half better, and you have 4 more wins. That's a lot. I know a lot of you are saying that's not that. Yes, it is. That's a lot. 4 more wins. 17-11 in really good numbers. And bullpen ERA is 3rd in baseball. But no doubt, what I didn't like Saturday was the bases loaded, 1 out, and Hamilton's approach was more lifting the baseball. You're down 6 runs. And I thought the approach was bad. I don't know what, Narvaez takes a fastball down the middle. It's 3-2, 2 outs, bases loaded. So, but Dustin May put you in an early hole. You have to turn the page on those games. There is kind of an NFL fandom in baseball now. And I think because the NFL is so popular, I think sometimes we mix the schedule. Like, we're talking about the baseball schedule more than I've ever heard in my life. These easy games. That doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't care what Baltimore's record is. If Trevor Rogers is throwing, they're better than their record. Football's not like that because you're playing the same team, right? Unless they change quarterbacks and all that. But as bad as the Pirates are, if they have Paul Skeens on the mound, it doesn't matter if they're 17 games under. You could argue, the best pitcher in the game. I thought Oviedo threw well on Saturday, and their back end's pretty good. It is what it is. Major League Baseball, whether you're not going to win every game against the teams under 500. I get those series. I get it's disappointing. But you still have won 8 of 11. That's all I look at. I look at the big picture. Best record in the American League in August. You're still a half game behind the Yankees, but this is really setting up. The Yankees have a tough schedule this month, but again, crazier things can happen. The Red Sox have Cleveland, Arizona, but they're on the road at Arizona, at Athletics. Then they come home against the Yankees. I can't wait for that series. That is going to be epic. 3 at Fenway. But the Red Sox had a terrific August. And today, by the way, they're going to see a pretty good arm. This kid throwing's good. We saw him. Parker Messick is going. He pitched in Worcester April 10th and went 5 scoreless and struck out 8. He's pretty good. 2 big league starts at Arizona, 6 2/3, 1 run. At Tampa at home, 7 scoreless, struck out 6. So a good lefty they'll face today. Bayo's on the mound for Boston. What did your eyes tell you about Peyton Tolle? All right. I know people are obsessed with his innings. They're afraid, there's a lot of questions people are bringing up about, I'm worried about him. It's his first year. Don't. Enjoy this. Don't worry about any of that stuff. Oh, they're rushing him. No, they're not. I told all of you this. Because you're looking at other things that don't correlate to the player. It's still played by human beings. I don't care that a lot of first-year pitchers are capped at 100 innings. I don't care. None of that matters to me. He's different. They've limited him all year. Maybe he can go 110. Maybe he can go 120 or 115. Maybe they will limit him. Maybe they'll give him extra days. Maybe they'll skip him. But I'm not worried about, we're worrying about a lot of things. Like Crochet, you could have said the same thing coming into this year. But they know what they're doing on this. They're managing this. They have a really good infrastructure right now. You realize Peyton Tolle was throwing in the 90s? This is what the Yankees do with every single arm. I could tell you for the last 20 years I've been in the minor leagues, seeing them in Double-A above. Everyone's throwing hard for them. And this was a guy that, but just his makeup is off the charts. But when you watched him in the game, the first hitter, I'm like, he's fine. And this is what we saw in AAA. Because he knows his stuff is better than the hitters in the big leagues. He knows that. Confidence comes with also being really good, too. But still, there are guys that are good that don't always have the confidence he does. It's off the charts, the makeup. He's out there having fun. He's out there laughing. He's out there fist pumping. He's looking at Bregman. He's talking on the mound. Think about this. He was in college last year. He started the year in Greenville. No level phased him. That's what I noticed about him. I look at those things. I'm not fast. I don't care about his baseball savant page or because none of that matters if you can't handle being up there. It really doesn't. Like the stuff that's great and all that, and all of his metrics and all that. But I care more about how he fell behind a couple hitters, and it was like, no big deal, I'll come back. Runner at second, nobody out. First big league start at Fenway in the middle of a pennant race on a Friday night, sold out against Paul Skeens. Whatever. That was his attitude. No big deal. I'm just out here having fun. That should tell you more than any stats page. It really should. It really, in football, we do that. Like with Tom Brady, when the way he played in that first Super Bowl, did you care what his statistics were? The fact that he took a nap before the Super Bowl in 2001 in his rookie year, and with 2 minutes left, just went right down the field. No big deal. I was saying, geez, I mean, this guy passed this test. I remember saying that, like, he's never going to be afraid. You can see it when young guys go up there. You can see, like, if the lights are too bright. We've seen that already this year. Hitters are different, I know that. But Roman Anthony is the same thing. As good as he is, it's not too big for him. And I've seen pitchers go up there and it looked too big. I thought Chase Burns looked like that when he was at Fenway. And listen, Tolle could go out there next outing and give up 7 runs in the first inning. But I just, this is such a gift that you're getting late in the year. Especially that kind of stuff lined up at the end. And you have 4 legit starters now. I don't care about the 5th starter. I really don't. A lot of you are obsessed with May. DFA. He's not pitching in the playoffs anyways. He's a 5th starter. Fitz got hurt. Maybe if Fitz was Criswell, maybe if those guys weren't hurt, May would already be in the bullpen. But this was, on so many levels, an unbelievable day for the organization. Player development, all of the coaches, the player development under Breslow's watch, he drafted him. It starts with a draft pick. It starts with ramping him up, putting him on a program. Right? This is last year. He doesn't even pitch till this year. Off season, spring training, coaches in Greenville, coaches in Portland, coaches in Worcester. It's a lot more than you think. And they get to the point where they're able to put the guy in the big leagues in the middle of a pennant race and got you in the 6th inning. Boy, it's one of the best stories of the year, I'm telling you. It should not be understated. But great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. All right, let's get to your fantastic comments from Friday, as always, at Carl U. Burson 377. You guys always have the hardest handles. I'm glad they're managing Chapman like that. Plus, you can't win a World Series or playoff series with just one guy. You have to have these other guys pitching high. Yeah, and they do. I mean, they've been near the best of the league all year. We just don't look around the other teams. We're just so focused, and I get that. But my job, I follow a lot of the other teams. You don't have even that guy closing. But to have Slayton and Whitlock in, I know Weiser at times has struggled, but he's still been pretty good for you. And now Matz, Matz might slide up to a higher leverage spot. At Peterson, 88 keys. MLB still says Skeens versus TBD. Now we know TBD is the big dude. All right, the reason I brought this up is a lot of you were saying that when you go into MLB.com, we use the same portal as they do. Someone from the team puts in the probables. We do the same thing in Worcester. It's all the same infrastructure. Like, I can see the Red Sox starters in the probable pitchers, but I can't change it. You have to have permission to do it. I can change ours. I can't change. I can change Worcester's, but I can't change Boston's. What happens is that if somebody doesn't change it, it will stay. It will be TBD or have the wrong guy. So the reason that it was TBD on Friday is because he was not officially on the roster. So you can't add a guy. This is just, if this happens again. So the Red Sox media guy could not put Tolle in there yet because he wasn't on their roster. So if you see any funky things, like yesterday, I noticed Bayo was not in the probable pitchers because the Red Sox had not announced it yet. So that was TBD until this morning, and then it changed. So, and if you have any questions about that, let me know, because there's fun. Even on our website, we have the wrong pitching matchups a lot, and people get mad. So, at JP2421, Skeens versus Tolle is one of those rare games that true baseball fans love. In my opinion, every move the Sox make should be with the mindset of how does this affect our chances of getting Skeens next year or year after, because we all know Pittsburgh isn't going to be able to pay him. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not even thinking about that. The issue with trying to I'm not sure I even want to do this, because you're going to have to give up. I don't think you're going to be able to do it. Anthony would have to be in a deal. There's no way Ben Cherington is going to hand Paul Skeens, the best pitcher in baseball, to you for prospects. There's no way. It doesn't matter if they can't sign him. And then what are you going to have to give him? You're going to have to give him $500 million probably. I don't know if that's the best move for them. If you continue to draft and you have a Crochet, Bayo, Tolle, and who knows, and you just keep building your own. See, that's something they haven't done. If they continue to do that, then you can spend money in other spots. I don't know. But it's going to be $400 to $500 million. So I don't know. I just don't see it happening. But we'll see. All right. That's going to do it for the show on Monday. Have a great holiday. It's Labor Day. Enjoy the Red Sox. They play a day game. And make sure to comment, subscribe to the channel. Red Sox Now, presented by Fan Arch. We'll talk to you on Tuesday. Go Sox.